Everyone, Dr. K here. Welcome to our training on how to write effective PLAAFP statements, the foundation of every strong IEP. Let's dive in. Before we get into the details, let's talk about legal foundation. PLAAFP statements are required under IDEA. Specifically, 20 U.S. Code Section 1414 outlines the requirement for individualized education programs to include a statement of present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. Why is this so important? The PLAAFP is the heart of the IEP. It informs the goals, the services, and any accommodations or modification the student will need to receive to be successful. A well-written PLAAFP tells the IEP team exactly where the student is right now and where that student is going. So what exactly is a PLAAFP? PLAAFP stands for Present Levels of Academic Achievement and Functional Performance. The PLAAFP describes how the student is currently performing both academically and functionally. It also explains how the student's disability affects their involvement in the general education classroom. Put simply, it's the starting line for every IEP. Think about the PLAAFP as a narrative describing that student. So some must-have elements that are required in the PLAAFP. The PLAAFP should include statements of academic and functional performance, both strengths and needs, how the disability affects the student in the general education curriculum. You should include your data sources. And if this is an annual IEP and not a new IEP, you should have statements regarding achievement of annual goals and significant lack of progress. If the student receives any related services, this information should also be included. If the student has a post-secondary IEP, a transition statement is a requirement. Don't forget to include information that the parent may add or any special tips that could help the next teacher know your student. If your PLAAFP is strong, you're going to often see language such as, according to data collected by the teacher, based on classroom observation and progress monitoring, work samples indicate, using data collected, based on results from the most recent, according to curriculum-based measures collected by. These phrases anchor your statements in evidence, and that's exactly what we want. So let's talk about quality, a good IEP versus a bad IEP PLAAFP. A good PLAAFP uses measurable, objective terms. It clearly describes how the disability impacts learning and identifies areas of need, backed by current data. A bad PLAAFP relies on vague phrases, repeats old data, or ignores functional and social emotional skills. We must be specific and current. So let's look at this example. So a bad example of a phrase in an IEP says, Damien has difficult attending to task. This was actually an IEP statement that I've seen, and it was worded just like that. However, it should have been worded based on classroom behavior charts. Damien's attention difficulties result in him staying on task an average of 7 minutes per assignment during independent work for 12 minutes per assignment during group work. Discipline referrals show Damien has been referred to the office 3 times from August to December for disrupting class during independent work. Damien has had no office referrals during group work this school year. This gives us a real insight into Damien's needs and how his environment affects his performance. So for final tips to wrap up, use specific, observable language, base everything in data. Avoid vague or emotional terms like sweet or tries hard. Please don't copy and paste from evaluations. Your PLAAFP should tell the student's story right now. Thank you for your time and commitment to writing strong, student-centered PLAAFPs. Your work sets the stage for meaningful goals and appropriate supports. Let's keep raising the bar for our students together. Have a great day.